Welcome to the Stolen Minutes channel and to Vlogmas 2024. I can't believe that it is already December. I feel like November was a blink. I don't know how that happened, but the last I chatted with you was early November. This is a knitting channel. This is going to be a Vlogmas video specifically. This is where I talk about what I'm knitting, reading, maybe what I'm sewing, and no crochet at the moment, just knitting. And this Vlogmas will be little bits and pieces of what is going on in my life, but it will be mostly what I am knitting and or making during the holiday season. So I'm excited to share that with you. I think my format is going to be a weekly catch up. I hope to post those by Fridays. So this Friday, December 6th, and then the 13th, and then the 20th. But we will just see where the month takes us. I've got Shadow up here beside me. I realized he's not in the frame. Oh my goodness, my makeshift setup is not serving me well today. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just gonna go with that, okay? We're just gonna go with that. But Shadow is here with me. Chet was on the couch behind me, but he got up. I don't know. He probably went back to a bed. He's like, lady, you're thrashing around on this couch too much for me. Let's do a little catch up. What was November? I actually have a few notes because I can't remember. Let's see. Beginning of November was chock full of lots of sewing. You guys, I am always blown away that you choose to buy one of my bags. I know that there are lots of other bag makers out there, and I know that there are lots of things demanding your hard-earned money, and I so appreciate anytime you choose to purchase one of our bags. And so thank you. Thank you, thank you. And everything got mailed out before Christmas break, which was my goal. Thank you, as always, again. So I did a lot of sewing. While I was sewing, I listened to a book, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And let's see. Thanksgiving, we went to Chicago to visit my sister and her family. Kind of started out as a concert to go see Aurora is what kind of inspired us to go. And then it turned into, well, we're just going to go early and stay with them and hang out for Thanksgiving. So that's what we did. We drove up on Wednesday because my college kid had class until Tuesday early afternoon. So I Tuesday drove and got her. She's a good like 2.5 hours away. So drove to get her, came back. Then the next day, Wednesday, we got up early and we drove to Chicago, and traffic did not disappoint. And Thanksgiving was lovely. We didn't do major cooking or anything. We just got to hang out and got to help my sister hang up some of her art in her house, and the guys watched some football, and my girls played with her daughter. She has a 6-year-old, so they always have a good time, and there was lots of coloring and crafting and all that kind of stuff. And went to the Aurora concert on Friday. This was a concert my girls wanted to go to, and I didn't really know any of her music beyond the little bit that we'd listened to. She has the one song in or she is in the one song from Frozen with the really ethereal kind of sounding voice, the part of that song. And so her music is a lot of that. It went from like this really ethereal, like backlit, like flowy sounding music to then, like, by the end of her show, it was like this techno rave kind of vibe. So it was interesting. It was a standing room only concert, which I didn't know how that was going to go. I mean, I haven't been to a standing room concert. I don't know if I've ever gone to that kind of a concert. I would not choose that kind of a concert, but I didn't really know until quite late that there was an option to like purchase an upgraded VIP-ish kind of ticket where you could be up in this balcony section and sit. I don't know, would I have wanted to like pay almost double what I did to see the concert just to sit? Probably not, but there was definitely, they had a great time. That's all that really matters. So, so we did the concert, and then we came back home on Saturday, and then took the college kid back on Sunday, and we came home, and my husband and I went to a local coffee shop, and there was a jam session there that he wanted to go to, so we went there, and he got to sit in and jam on a few tunes, and I got to sit and knit some more on my Advent sock cuffs. We don't have any Christmas decorations up yet. Normally in recent years, we've usually put the tree up the weekend after Thanksgiving, but since we were not in town, and because Thanksgiving is so late, we did not get our tree up yet. We still don't have our tree up. I feel kind of bad that we're gonna put the tree up and decorate it when my college kid isn't home, but she doesn't get home for another 2 weeks. And my goodness, if we wait until then to do anything, I like the tree to come down before New Year's. I like it all put back away. I think that is it for what has been going on between the last time we chatted and now. So let's talk about some knitting, shall we? I had some like goals during November. I finished my scrappy stripy hat, and I've worn that several times because it's been cold enough. And then the other thing that I had on my needles that I wanted to finish was his Bengals muscle-burra hat. So I finished it. I don't know, a couple weeks after we chatted last. So this is his Bengals. It's Baw Yarns in Here Kitty Kitty. And I got this yarn at the Wool Gathering Festival. And so this is that muscle-burra. And it's an 80-20 fingering. So I knit the adult large, and I get about a 7.5 stitch per inch gauge. So I just follow those instructions for that in the muscle-burra hat. It's by a pattern by Isolde Teague, where you've heard me talk about these a lot, but you do crown increases, and then you just knit this big tube down to your decreases, and then you do decreases, and you have a great big tube hat. Now for this one, I knit until I ran out of yarn. And I know I had played around with originally knitting half of the hat in like this dark black gray color. And then I kind of decided like, nah, I'll just see how long I can go with the stripy yarn, see how far it gets me. So that's what I did. And then I was running out, and I still had like maybe 2 inches or so left before the decreases. And I pulled out this gray and started it. It actually worked out perfect. So that when you turn up the brim, it's like right there. So I am really, really happy with this. He honestly prefers, I think, only worn it with just the stripes showing, but I think this is really cute like that. So, he gets 2 hats in one, and, you know, he didn't even, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He loves this hat though. He's worn it numerous times, and every time he's like, this hat is amazing. It's so warm. So he loves this one. So another Musselburgh win. I do have plans for another one, but I am not letting myself cast it on because I have Advent socks to knit and a couple of Christmas gifts to knit. So it will have to wait until January, but this is such a great knit. It's almost like socks. I could see a definite need to like just always have one on the needles, because after you're through the increases, it's just straight knitting around and around. So it is great to just throw in your bag if you think you might get a couple of minutes and you don't have to worry about what you're doing. So really, really happy to have his Musselburgh off the needles, and he is even happier to be able to wear it. I thought he said something. No. Okay, so that is the only thing that I finished between then and now. Now, I know I said that I wanted to finish my field sweater, and I do still want to finish my field sweater. In fact, this morning, after this little check-in, I think this might be what I do. But I got through the ribbing, and I just feel like before I bind it off, I'm going to do the tubular bind off. But I feel like before I do that, I need to try it on just to make sure the length is okay. I'll show you again because why not? Yes, that is my field sweater. And I've got this much left for the sleeves. I haven't weighed it yet. I do still have my swatch that I could rip out, and I have red. I have the red left that if I have to, I'm thinking I might make the cuffs red if it's looking like it's going to be close. But I can't decide if I'm going to helical knit the sleeves. I did helical knit the body, and you can tell there's some definite, it's showing up more on the camera than it is in real life, but it does have some variegation to it. So I don't know. I don't want to helical knit the sleeves, but I probably will. So I'm going to do that tubular bind off. I'm going to try it on first. I'm going to do that, I think, after I get done chatting with you. Just because I don't want to bind that thing off, because the tubular bind off takes a bit of time. And so I want to make sure that it fits the way that I want. Fingers crossed that it does. So I do want to finish that. I need to be able to wear that like as we get closer to Christmas. So it'll be okay. It's going to be all right. I can do this. Okay. And the other things that I really needed to get done before the start of December was my Advent cuffs. So as I've said before, I am doing the Cozy Knitter self-striping Advent, and I'm doing the Freckled Whimsy one. So I ordered, or I'm making a pair of each of those. I'm making a pair of both for me and a pair of both for my mom. Where is my other one? And the Cozy Knitter, I got the cream natural color for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And so I got 2 stripes on as of yesterday. This is the only Advent sock of the 4 pairs that I'm going to be knitting this month. This is the only one that has 2 stripes with the cuff done. My Cozy Knitter, I have all 4 cuffs done, and I just did the first 2 stripes on one of them. And I've got them all living in a medium. one of our medium project bags. It feels like a little bit of a hot mess right now. In years past, I think I've put each pair in one small bag by themselves, but I kind of thought this year, oh, I'll put 2 pairs in a medium bag and see how that goes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my mom's 2 pairs and my 2 pairs and put them in bags that way. So I'll have a bag that is her 2 pairs, and I'll have a bag that is my 2 pairs. My goal is to finish my mom's 2 pairs of socks to give them to her for Christmas, because she would be super surprised. And I don't think she watches this podcast, so she won't even know that I'm thinking that. And so if it doesn't happen, she'll never know. And then the Freckled Whimsy, I also got the mini skein that she offered. I am in love with this color. Is that not a gorgeous plum color? So I have not put any stripes on. I have all 4 of these cuffs done, and I haven't started any stripes yet, because I literally had like 2 rows or something left on this one. You know what? I lied. The Cozy Knitter, I still have 1 empty needle that needs a cuff. Yeah. I'll admit, I was getting burnt out on cuff knitting, because on the way up to Chicago for Thanksgiving, during our time there when I got to knit, which wasn't a lot, and then on the ride home, all I did was knit on cuffs because I needed to make 8. I want to stay close to getting my Advent socks done by the end of the year for me, and I want to get my mom's done in time for Christmas. So I could finish those on Christmas Eve and wrap them up quick, and, you know, on Christmas I can give them to her, not a problem. Or even if I'm still finishing the toes or something. Anyways, she's just happy to get them whenever. November Mitts by Jen Yard, and she is Everything Shapes Us on Instagram. And she knits a lot of scrappy socks, which are super fun. And she also has these fingerless mitts that I've seen numerous people knitting. She has a fingering weight pattern, and she also has a marled or DK weight pattern. My high schooler saw the picture on a book that had fingerless mitts, and they were in kind of a rainbow colorway. She was like, ooh, I'd really like a pair of those. So I didn't have the yarn to make those and whatever. And I was like, oh, I do have leftover 2023 Cozy Knitter Advent yarn. So I pulled those out because, again, I knit a pair for me and I knit a pair for my mom. So I had leftovers from both of our skeins from last year. So I still had a full rainbow repeat of Cozy Knitter stripes. So this is what I've been doing with them. And so the cuff, so this part is stripy leftovers from I don't know what, but they're very similar. This one starts on like a mauve-y color, and this one just starts on that coral, which I absolutely love. And so then like the hand of the mitt and the thumb is the Cozy Knitter 2023 Advent leftovers. So they'll be coordinating but not matchy or the same. So these have been so fun. I'm so excited to give these to her because I think she's going to really like them. And I finished out the cuff with some hot pink that I had in some leftovers, and so I really love how those look. And I'll do the same thing on this one. I'll end it with my hot pink. So yeah, I highly recommend this pattern. It's very well written, and they fit really well. So I want to make myself a pair. I want to try and make a pair for my college kid as well, but that doesn't have to be a Christmas gift or anything, because if I don't, you know what, I have a pair of socks for my college kid that I mean, she knew I was knitting them and stuff, but I might give her those and I'll give these to my high schooler because she's the one that saw these and wanted them. And I may, you know, I'll probably still make a pair for my college kid too, but I don't know. I read someplace, don't put the pressure on yourself to make things for Christmas gifts if it like isn't feasible with the rest of whatever's going on in your life, because who doesn't enjoy getting hand knit gifts or handmade gifts of any sort for that matter at any time of the year? Like, stop making yourself feel like Christmas is like this pinnacle of making gifts for people. It doesn't have to be the end all be all, like the only time you make something for somebody. And that just really, I don't know, I think of that whenever I think, oh, I need to make so and such something for Christmas. Like, no, you don't. Stop. Like, you can make them something anytime you want. You don't have to give it to them for Christmas. Like, quit putting this like deadline of Christmas when maybe you haven't even thought about it or made the time for it before December. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's okay. So that definitely has been the thing that I've picked up, and I don't know, I've really wanted to work on them. I think it's just the colors changing and the newness of the pattern definitely is, I love that like figuring things out stage. So yeah, but I will be making more of those. I bought the pattern for the DK weight or the marled version too. So yeah, those are fun. What else? That's all that I have finished, and that's all I'm knitting on. So it'll be a lot of Advent sock knitting and field sweater knitting until the end of the year. The other only, and now that I just said like no pressure to knit things or whatever, I do still want to make those goose sweaters. I don't know that those are going to happen by Christmas. I haven't even cast on either of the two that I still need to make. So we'll see. If I do, I do. If I don't, again, I can always, who wouldn't like to get a goose sweater in the mail, you know? So that will probably be happening. Let's see. What have I been reading? So while I was stitching up your bags, the book that I was really listening to was Slip, Stitched, and Slayed. And that is the final book. I believe there's 5 in the series by Tracy Drew. And this one was just as cute. She's a yarn shop owner that she inherited from her grandparents, and her grandpa, she lives above the yarn shop with him. And she always just kind of stumbles into witnessing a murder that occurred in their small town, and she inserts herself into trying to solve it, and it was very cute. It's just a nice palate cleanser kind of read. It's not heavy. It's very lighthearted. A little bit of humor. There's a couple cats in there that is super fun. Kit and Pearl. Yeah. Yeah. So I've enjoyed those books, and I'm currently listening to, I just started it this morning. I had about 10 minutes before I needed to do something else. And so I started a book by Kristen Hanna called Comfort and Joy. And I had held off starting this because it is centered around Christmas. So I finally started that this morning. So I'm looking forward to being able to listen to that while I continue to sew a little bit and while I knit on my Advent socks. And the other book that I finished since we talked last was let's see, what book was I reading? I was reading The Address by Fiona Davis, and I finished that. That was about the Dakotas in New York. And so I finished that. Oh, and I also finished Striped and Strangled by Tracy Drew. That was book number 4, and then Slip, Stitched, and Slayed is book number 5. So I finished both of those. And then I was reading in hard copy What in the World by Leanne Morgan. She's a comedian. I found her through Instagram, and she's just hilarious. She grew up in Tennessee, but she's married and has grown children, and her one daughter travels and does her makeup with her and things when she's on tour. But she started out being a comedian early in her adult life, and it was something that she just never let go, and she just kept doing things to further herself with it. And then Instagram, and I believe like COVID, and she's just kind of on a roll, and she's hilarious. My mom and I went and saw her in Kentucky and Louisville in 2022, I think, and that was really fun. She was really great, and her humor is all about being a mom and a wife, and just her southern twang on things, and her facial expressions just have me rolling on the ground. So this was her book about her life a little bit, like growing up and early marriage and kids, and she just has a great way of being real, and I really enjoy her. So Leanne Morgan, What in the World, because that's what she says all the time. Everything is what in the world, like what in the world is even happening? So if you're looking for a good read, a funny read, or I believe she has 1 or 2 specials on Netflix too. And yeah, but on Instagram, you'll see just little snippets of little bits that she does. But go watch the specials on Netflix, because she's really funny, and read her book if you want. I forget the name of it, but did you know that Stephen King has a pre-order for a book that's coming out in May? Why do I want to say it's called like House Finch or something like that? But it has his character Holly from the Mr. Mercedes series, and then also, what was that last one? I forget. I'm looking up there because I have all of my Stephen King books in the bookshelf in front of me. I cannot remember. Was his most recent one with Holly just called Holly? I don't know. Anyways, if you love the Mr. Mercedes series with Holly in it, she's going to be in this one. And I think it is called like House Finch or something, but highly recommend. I didn't know that he had one coming out. My mom told me. So if you are a Stephen King lover and didn't know about that, it's available for pre-order. I've got my copy. Go get yours. What else? I'm listening to Comfort and Joy by Kristen Hanna, but then I'm reading in hardback or in a paper copy Between Sisters. That's also by Kristen Hanna. So both very good. The Comfort and Joy, I've only listened to about 10 minutes of it. Between Sisters, I don't know, like on chapter 7 or something like that. So, but her books are they're just easy to read, and I just really enjoy those. So she's also the author that wrote The Women. If you've heard anyone talk about that, that's probably my favorite book of hers to date, but I love all of her books that I've read. So I highly recommend her. Okay. I think that is it. I will be back with just some little snippets of my day. I might do this kind of a catch up once a week during Vlogmas, just to kind of update you on my Advent socks and my field sweater progress. And otherwise, I'm just going to throw in little bits of footage that I get doing some things or whatever. So I hope you're having a wonderful December, preparing for the holiday season. I can't believe we have about 2.5 weeks left before Christmas. I still have some shopping to do. I hope that I've done more than in my head I think I have. I need to go and write down what I've bought and like get myself organized that way, because it just feels like all of a sudden it's happening. So so I hope you have a great rest of your week, and until I talk to you next time, I hope you get lots of stolen minutes in your days to do whatever crafty endeavor that you are loving at the moment. and I will talk to you soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so let's do a little bag rearranging. So like I said, I think I want to put my 2 pairs in one bag and my mom's 2 pairs in another. So let's do that. This is a little crazy. Okay. What am I doing? I've got all these ends. Okay. That one needs finished. This one needs started. So those will be mine. And let's see, this one is attached to that one. This one still needs a cuff. You know what? Let's hold off on putting that in there. Okay. All right. This one needs finished. Put that in. That in. That needs finished. Okay. All right. And now my freckled whimsy. I believe I have 4 cuffs on this one. So there's 2. Those 2 are done. Yes, I have 4 cuffs, and that is it. I just have 4 cuffs. I don't have any of my stripes started, but that's okay. All right, so in this bag, all right, we'll do it like that. And then this one will get 2 cuffs in there. And here is my empty needles for my second cozy knitter cuff. I've even got this, I've already got these loaded up with, I use a bulb marker and 2 small stitch markers. You can't see that. And so I've already got those loaded up in there from a previous year, apparently. So that is one set. And I had to grab one of the new bags. I'm gonna put my freckled whimsy in. And those 2 cuffs will go in here as well. And I need to load up this ring. This one is not entirely ready, but I can make it be ready. Okay. Let me get my little container of stitch markers. So I like 1 bulb marker because I will, when I get close to the decreases at the gusset or at the toe, then I like to have a bulb marker to be able to mark that. Oh, I did not tell you. I am feeling much better about my sock knitting. So I cast on a 68 stitch sock, and I'll show you that one. So I had cast on a 68 stitch sock, and I've tried it on. I'm loving the gauge, and I'm loving how it fits. So I think this is my new recipe that I'll use. A 68 stitch sock on 2.25s US ones. So I think that is my new go-to sock recipe. I need to grab a couple more bulb markers over here. I know, Shadow. You're excited about it. I know. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Everybody has to chat. What? What, chat? Hmm? Let's see, I need 2 more. Okay. I like to have all of these loaded up and ready to go, so that way when I get to those, I am not digging around looking for these things. Chet is chatting at Shadow because Shadow acts like he might jump up on the couch here with me. There we go. All right, and all of those I'm going to pop on my stitch marker ring here. And just swap out rings. I'll put this one over here. So that is what I'm gonna put in my bag. So that is ready to go when I am. So it's just gonna wait inside there for me. We'll see how this setup works. I think it'll be just fine. I like the idea of just picking up one bag and knowing like, this is my mom's and that's mine. So I won't use my Nutcracker bag this year. Well, who knows, but probably not. I used it for a little bit. So this is my 2 Advent knitting bags. I think I'll take these and put them where I can keep them. So that's it. We're ready to knit. Let's do a little Advent sock catch up. So I am doing Cozy Knitter and Freckled Whimsy. I'm doing 2 pairs of each. I'm doing a pair for me and a pair for my mom. And my goal is to gift my mom her 2 pairs on Christmas. So these are mine and I've got all the cuffs done. Finally, I just finished up the last Cozy Knitter cuff last night. Yes. And so I have them in one of my medium project bags. I had to take one of the cat bookshelf bags because it has a black cat and it's just cute. So I have Freckled Whimsy in here and Cozy Knitter. I might reposition those so they're one on each side like my other bag I have. And here is my mom's and they are farther along. Oops, that one I had tucked in there. So the Freckled Whimsy I have up to, this one is almost done with day 6 and Cozy Knitter is, you know, you can see up to day 3 on one of them. I'm not concerned about staying on the correct day or doing 1 stripe on each sock every day. It's not realistic for me, so I'm not concerned about doing that. This one I do have Freckled Whimsy and Cozy Knitter, and then when I put them away, I tuck the respective sock on each side and it zips up easily. This is the medium sized bag and there are still some of these bookshelf kitties in the shop. They're super cute. This is an old one from several years ago when we did not put stripes in our bags. We did polka dots inside for quite a while until we switched over. And I have my stitch marker rings all loaded up in every bag. I need 2 stitch markers and a bulb marker to do my gusset and toe decreases. And so I load those up on my stitch marker ring beforehand so that they are just ready to go. And a lot of times that is what I keep in every one of my sock knitting bags. I always load up a bulb marker with 2 stitch markers. So this is where I'm at the moment. I'm excited this weekend. I'm anticipating some knitting time to kind of get all of these stripes on all of the cuffs going, and then it should be pretty smooth sailing. So very happy with my new sock setup. I do 68 stitches on a US 1, and I'm very, very happy with that now. So yeah, that is where I'm at. Hope you're having a great time knitting too.